You're the Ashley. Yeah,
That's true.
what you do. Yeah, spin it around.
I chose Tally.
Yeah, I chose Tally. I mean, I'm not stupid.
All right. Where is here we go. Where's my intro music?
Oh my god.
Sorry. It's on this screen. All right, intro music's playing for the stream. And you can start recording. Intro music.
I hope you can't hear the beach party that's going on outside.
I don't hear it.
Good.
And 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everyone, to the Final Checkpoint podcast. This is episode 80. We've hit a beautiful even number with a 0. There's an 8. That's like an infinity loop. If you turn it to the side, that means we're never ending until the world ends. Yep. Each week, we react to the latest video game news. We talk about games that we're playing. Talk about shenanigans and Bennigan's.
Ooh.
Bennigan's, owner of the restaurant over here. My name is Joel.
And I'm Ben.
And I'm Trevor.
And Trevor.
Oh.
That's right. Guys, we have another wonderful guest this week. One of our friends from the Game Fanatics. And also, he's got some hidden talents. There's something that I need to know about. Something that I know he mentioned it before, but I just have to know what this is. So Trevor, Mr. Trevor Paul at Slam Zany on, is it Slam Zany or Slam Zanny?
Slam Zany.
Slam Zany.
There's a funny story behind that name if you're interested. It's short.
I do want to hear, but first I need you to tell me, what is Smooth Burrito Podcast? What is this?
Sure, yeah, of course. The Smooth Burrito. Me and my buddy Frank, longtime friends, go way back to the old college days. We started a podcast, and we called it the Smooth Burrito. Where this name came from for the Smooth Burrito was kind of just spitballing, throwing things at the wall, and whatever stuck. And we just liked the way it rolled off the tongue. So the Smooth Burrito is a video game podcast, quite similar to this one. You know, we get into some shenanigans on there as well. We talk about what we're playing, news. We are both software engineers, so we both kind of give a little bit more of a engineering point of view into some of the developer side of things. We're not game developers, but we can kind of chime in on some of the more nitty gritty things in terms of news and things that come up on that side of the games industry. So if you're interested, definitely check that out.
Awesome. Where can they find this podcast?
It's on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud. We're not on Spotify yet, but yeah, you can find it. Also on Frank's website, Robot Boombox, is posted every week.
Robot Boombox. Interesting. All right. I'm going to have to check it out. I did look for it on Spotify the other day, and I was like, oh, shit. Where is it? Okay. I'll have to.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I think it's a little bit trickier to get on there. So we're getting there eventually.
Okay. Sounds good. Trevor, we got to know you through the Game Fanatics. Game Fanatics, a place where we have made many connections. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Of course. You were going to be on the show previously, but you had a medical issue?
Yeah, I had like kind of I was crippled by like this infection thing in my jaw area. My face swelled up like a grapefruit. It was horrible.
Ha, man. Well, glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, me too. Definitely.
Of course, right? Now, remember, everyone, you can find our podcast, Final Checkpoint Podcast, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher. You can find it over at thegamefanatics.com. You can also find video version of the podcast, youtube.com/loadlastcheckpoint. You can also watch us live every Sunday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, twitch.tv/loadlastcheckpoint. Remember, Saturdays, except for this last Saturday, my bad, we are streaming Dark Souls. we're doing our Ben the Sherpa playthrough where
Yes.
he guides me aimlessly as I travel through my first ever Dark Souls playthrough. I did finally catch up on sleep, so like the amount of just I feel so much better. Like I woke up in a good mood.
Hmm.
I had just, yesterday I was just like, I felt like I was dying. And so when it came
Mm.
time to like do the stream and everything, I just couldn't do it, man.
That's fine with me. I woke up, checked my phone, saw that you were bouncing out,
Yep.
and I went back to bed.
You were like coward and then went back to bed. But yeah, you can find the streams that we've been doing for Dark Souls, my playthroughs, my struggles, my triumphs over there also on youtube.com/loadlastcheckpoint.
Yay.
Also remember we are trying to hit a follower goal on this Twitch channel. So hit the follow button if you haven't followed already. If we can hit that 130 follower goal, we will do a Drunk Souls stream where you can watch me and Ben have some drinks, play some Dark Souls, maybe Dark Souls 3 by then. Maybe.
We'll see how far you get.
We made the commitment. We bought the game, or I bought the game. Ben already has it because he's a fool.
No.
He invested all of his money in Dark Souls 3 coin. So.
Oh yeah, all $60 of
all
it.
$60. Cool. All right.
Big investment.
That's good.
Yeah. So lots to talk about. Got some news items that we're gonna go over. Then we're gonna get to the fun stuff. Where we talk about games that we've played. So Ben, we've got a couple items on here. So why don't we get to it? What is our topic of the show?
Right. There's a few news stories this week, but I think the biggest one is that the Bethesda, or rather the ZeniMax buyout, or whatever you want to call it, from Microsoft is official. It's gone through. We got a bunch of news and quotes and games from that. Not new games, I guess I should clarify. It's all stuff coming to Game Pass. I feel like we've talked about this a lot, obviously, over the last, what, I don't know, 6-9 months that we've known about it.
Yeah.
I think it's exciting. Let's go to the quote. Let's go to that and kind of discuss what they talked about in that little presentation, because I feel like it's pretty clear that most things are going to be exclusive now. But also, the way it was phrased left some wiggle room.
I didn't watch the presentation.
I didn't either. I just watched some parts of it.
Okay. Trevor, did you watch it?
No, I didn't watch it. I watched like the trailer and then like some snippets and then read the articles afterward.
Okay.
Exactly.
I just saw Phil Spencer, who I do enjoy. I love Phil Spencer. Anytime he does talk, I do kind of want to listen to him. I saw Todd Howard and I was like, oh God, here we go. Not that I don't like him. It's just for some reason, every time I see him, I'm just like, I don't know why. I just get this weird feeling from him. Like
he's so good at selling me on stuff that like half the time I don't want. But then he made Fallout 76 seem like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't. But he's good at that. You know what I mean? Like I get really excited when he starts talking about
I feel like he's the guy that sells you on this great like machinery that ends up always breaking down. And I always wanted, you always want to just give him that chance, and then like he's always just going to give you that like broken machinery, you want to give him the grant to invent this next technology or this machine, and then but you just know it's always going to like do something screwy, it's always going to accidentally shrink his kids or something.
I was trying to think of a metaphor, but yeah. I think you nailed it.
Yeah, he's always going to shrink his damn kids.
He's going to shrink his damn kids.
They get fined by the end of the movie.
Yeah, I'm sure. No trauma.
Yeah, everybody.
No trauma from the giant.
Trauma.
Where the kid just like turns into a blob all of a sudden. It's like, oh, his bones melted. What happened?
Yeah.
Anyways, you can go, Ben.
All right. I don't have much more than that. I feel like we've talked so much about it. I do think if you find the quote, which I tried to find, and then I found a quote from 4 months ago because there's so many quotes about this thing.
Yeah.
It's been going on for so long. I think people just assumed it was already official. We've been talking about it for so long. I it's weird to talk about in part because I have a PC and I have an Xbox. So I don't really give a shit. Like I am full in on the Game Pass bandwagon. I don't need convincing. So it's hard to have
Right.
that perspective of someone who is a big PlayStation gamer or doesn't care about Xbox at all and is resistant to it, what they would feel like and how they feel about the quote because it does, like I said, imply that everything I think that it mentions like legacy titles, everything but legacy titles, which I assume means stuff that's already come out, and then like previous deals like Deathloop will be, obviously on PlayStation. I'm fine with them going exclusive. I
Yeah.
do think and I've mentioned this every time. I just feel like they're leaving money on the table. These are franchises, particularly Elder Scrolls and Fallout, because people like Doom, but it doesn't sell crazy numbers.
Right.
Not like Skyrim. We're talking tens of millions. So I feel like you're leaving money on the table when you do not sell that also on PlayStation. And the way I would have done it, and the way they still could do it, because I still feel like there's a lot of wiggle room in this discussion they had even now, was just put it out a month or 2 months, 3 months later on PlayStation. Make it to be where you have, if you want it now, you have to get it on Xbox or Game Pass or whatever, and then it's coming out. I just think you're just leaving so much money on the table, and when you pay $7.5 billion for something, you kind of would like to recoup that. I don't know if this moves. I mean, I guess that's the question. Do you think this moves the needle for people? Will this convince of people to get an Xbox or to get into the Game Pass ecosystem in some way?
Yeah.
For me personally, I am primarily when it comes to consoles a PlayStation person. I do have a gaming PC, so I do have Gaming Pass on PC because great value. I mean,
Right.
we all know that, right? So let's take the gaming PC out of the equation, and I'm just a PlayStation console gamer. Um, this kind of does move the needle for me a little bit because I am a really big Fallout fan and a really big Elder Scrolls fan, and I mean, I put hundreds of hours into Skyrim. Uh, so it's like the thought of not being able to play those games, if it is just like a few months exclusivity, then um, to me, that's not a big deal. But the thought of not being able to play those games at all, unless I either got a gaming PC or an Xbox, that kind of would move the needle for me to get one.
Okay.
One of the two, just because personally Bethesda games are like big for me, and I know that there is like a maybe it's just like a small portion of people, a few million or whatever, that like primarily play Bethesda games because they have just such a large library there. That would move them, obviously, probably to Xbox as well. Uh, but with what you said and like kind of how to take the quote and how to kind of read into this, to me, it sounds more like they're leaning like everything Bethesda is going to be exclusive or
Yeah.
have like some very large exclusivity window where it might not just be a few months, it might be like at least a year or something. Um, and $7.5 billion is a lot of money, so it's I don't know.
Seems like a lot.
Yeah, and with that 7.5 billion dollars, I think it's interesting to think about what we don't know yet, because when this first got announced as a thing they're pursuing or going through with whatever, we didn't know about Indiana Jones, and that's a big franchise. That's a big get. That could be one of those titles that is not exclusive, right? And that's one of those things too. I think when you're buying now, I've never bought a company for $4, let alone billions of dollars. But I'd imagine when you're at the negotiations and you're saying, I'm worth this much, and Microsoft replies to you, why? Or how so? Explain yourself. And you go, we have this secret deal to make the next Indiana Jones game. You go, oh, okay. And that's when the $7 billion number starts making more sense. So I'm wondering if there's another secret deal going on here that they had to disclose that would make them that much more valuable, because I don't think they're 7.5 billion dollars valuable with what we know presently. Even
Yeah.
with that huge vast library, whatever stuff they have there, I think there's another secrety thing, and that's exciting for me. I'm trying to find the quote, Joel.
Yeah. For me,
Finally.
I think for Xbox they really I don't know if exclusivity is the best way for them to make money here. I just don't think they have really big system sellers, because even with Halo and Gears, they didn't really have system sellers there. And um Indiana Jones to me isn't like a big draw, right? I think maybe like I mean, when you think about the people that are going to be buying consoles, like, are they really going to be excited for an Indiana Jones game? When you think about how many copies like Uncharted and Tomb Raider sells, like those types of games aren't really,
Sure.
they're not really drawing huge numbers either. They sell their decent amount, and then even when you think about the company that's making it, it's id, right? Is it id or is it
It's Machine Games.
Machine Games,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so Machine Games made Wolfenstein, right? How much did Wolfenstein sell? So we're not really
Not a
looking
lot.
at giant numbers here. So even if they are making the next Indiana Jones, I don't think we're really looking at the like, oh man, if we make that exclusive, then we've really got some system sellers here. So I just don't think that's a game to play. I think they have to play the put it everywhere kind of thing for that. I think with Starfield, I don't know if it's been said or not if they're gonna make that exclusive, but Starfield would be that type of game that you do make exclusive, maybe, or you make it exclusive for a window of time and then you put it out on the other consoles, because that is a way to draw people to your console. But I don't know if that's ever really been their draw with the Xbox Series of consoles and having the option to put it on PC, because for reals, I really think the big draw is Game Pass. And for me, I don't like, I've tried finding reasons to get into Game Pass and play the games on there, and I've had a really hard time. I'll download a game, I'll play it. I just don't get super far into it before I end up just dropping it or deleting it. And for me, I only really have it because we ended up getting an Xbox, I think a couple years ago now, for my kids. And then because I was really looking at getting Game Pass for like a year, we just decided to get Game Pass Ultimate. And because GameStop fucked up, we ended up getting Game Pass Ultimate for like almost 3 years. So
Well, good for you.
so I was like, oh, why not? So I'm constantly looking at like what's on there, and I've played a few games in there. I've never played anything all the way through. I've never really played anything super deep. So there's a lot of things that Spiritfarer, I think, is the only one really. And that was a great game, and I think that was a great find on there. But there's just a lot of stuff on there, like, they just flooded it recently with all the Bethesda games. And I looked through everything, and I'm just like, I've played all these, or I've played most of them, and I don't really feel like jumping back in. Even like when they put Outer Worlds on there, and I started playing it, and I was like, man, like, I'm digging this, but also like, I don't want to play this anymore. So I don't know. And it could just be a mood thing. Like there was what game was I playing recent? Oh, Control, where I wasn't feeling it, went back, really was feeling it, and I finally beat it. And so Genshin Impact, same thing. Like I was in the mood for it, went back, played it, was feeling it, and am now really in the mood for it. That could be the thing with a lot of games on Game Pass. But I think that's kind of their thing. Like we need people to jump into our subscription, get tied in there, forget to cancel it, and that's how we're going to make our money. And that's really their play. Some exclusive games here and there, but maybe not things that are going to sell, because that's how they're going to make their money.
I found the quote.
Back.
Found the quote.
Okay, let's hear it.
20 minutes into the very professional video game show.
No one ever,
All
no one ever
right.
said that.
This is the from Phil Spencer on that roundtable. It's shocking. I went to 2 video game websites to find this article. Polygon, you let me down. You let me down. Didn't even have it. Couldn't even find it. Way to fucking go. Anyway, that wasn't part of his quote, by the
Damn, I
way.
can't believe he said that. That's embarrassing.
And I quote,
And I quote, "Fuck Polygon." Phil,
Shouldn't say that,
jeez.
bro.
Okay, and it's like I'm gonna read it all because it's all pertinent information. And I'm gonna try and get it in the microphone as I have to read around my whole fucking setup. Okay. So obviously, I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive because we know that's not true. There are contractual obligations that we're going to see through as we always do in every one of these instances. That's like Deathloop. We have games that exist on other platforms. We already know that, and we're going to support those games on the platforms that they are on. There are communities of players who love those players. Blah blah blah. Even in the future, there might be things that have either contractual things or legacy on different platforms that will go due. But if you're an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know is that this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. And that's our goal. That's why we're doing this. Da, 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 da. That's it. That's the most pertinent information from that. Uh, but again, I do think it leaves the door open slightly for some shenanigans, I
Phil
think.
Spencer also like quote tweeted or responded to Paris, said he was right, and Paris has always said that
They're exclusive.
everything
Yeah.
Bethesda is going to be 100% exclusive. Nothing's coming to
It's a good
PlayStation. So
point.
I thought that was interesting. Um, and that kind of like definitely made me lean toward the way like, okay, are we ever getting like Elder Scrolls 6 on PlayStation? You know, like
Yeah. No, yeah. I wish it was just a little clearer, you
yeah, I
know?
know. Right. I
Just a
mean, I
little.
think some of it is like gray area, what he can say, what he's allowed
Right.
to say, you know, like I know when it comes to marketing and quotes and stuff like that, they're like, go out and say this without saying this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's exciting. I think it's good for someone, me particularly. I don't know,
Yeah. I
right?
It's interesting. We're like in the first year of these new consoles, and Xbox hasn't really had a big exclusive game yet. And we're kind of in this like drought of sorts of like
Hmm.
PS next gen games in general. So this news was definitely like significant in my opinion.
I think they have I think they have a few like weapons at their disposal when it comes to IPs, and I think that they just haven't done a great job with like Halo. Obviously, Halo's the big one that everyone's waiting for, with Halo Infinite. But like Forza's done really well for them, um,
Hmm.
and I think Gears has been great. And maybe I don't know how the community feels about it, but playing what I've played of Gears and not really haven't been able to follow it from the beginning, but from what I've played, I think it's a great cover shooter. And playing a lot of Gears 5, I've really enjoyed it, and I think it's a great series. I think it could use a change up, like more of it. It just feels really heavy and clunky, considering they've used a lot of the same formula. But really, just like I could see that series evolving a little bit more, and really kind of once it gets that like evolution of what it could be next time. Plus, Gears Tactics is awesome as hell. Like I could see that being more of like part of their arsenal. And I like with Bethesda now. I mean, they've got a lot they can do. If they do, they should bring back Dishonored, or not Dishonored. What is it? Yeah, Dishonored.
Yes.
They should bring it back. Like they've got a huge weapon there. Why? I don't know why. I was thinking of when I said Dishonored, I was thinking of For Honor in my head. I'm like, why did I have that weird flash of the
Oh
sun?
yeah, sure.
But like that's a huge game they could bring back. And although it didn't sell big, imagine that on Game Pass.
Right, and that
It would
definitely
be
pads
huge.
out your year when you're Microsoft and you have Halo coming out and Hellblade and Forza and Fable. Now you can slip in a couple Bethesda titles in there,
Yeah,
have 1
Fable.
or 2 a year. Your library starts going from, to like, "Oh shit, I need this now." And
Yeah.
I think that's the $7.5 billion maybe right
Yeah,
there.
because you still have Fable. You still have if you got another Cuphead coming along. You got another
State of
Ori
Decay.
coming along. I mean, not that those
Well.
are coming, but like if you start getting stuff like that coming, like those are great games that you have at your disposal. I mean, so they could really get a solid library like that. I mean, because it's not like Sony has new stuff coming, right? They've got sequels to what we saw last gen already. Sequels to God of War, sequels to Horizon, sequels to Ratchet and Clank. Like it's starting to repeat for Sony, where Xbox could really get sequels to what we just recently saw that was great coming along, and it'd be another strong lineup for them.
I'm really hopeful. I want it to be more competitive. I want Sony ponies to shut up for 5 goddamn minutes. But there's stupid games that are
I
all
want
the
them all to
same with
shut
their
up. I don't
third
have a
person.
PS5. I don't got an Xbox Series X.
Yeah, maybe I'll change my tune when I can finally find a PS5.
True. It'll be better once like they stop making the games that are both for like both console, like for a PS4 and a PS5 or Xbox One and
I can't
Xbox
wait
Series
for that.
X.
Joe, I'm telling you,
then-
that God of War game is going to be on both. I just feel it. Feel it.
If it comes out this year, I'm with you on that.
Oh, for sure. If it's this
yeah.
year, it's both. Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna hit 2021 though.
I
No.
doubt it.
No, I doubt it.
Was that meme from LA Noire where it just says doubt?
Yeah.
Doubt.
Instantly
Alright.
when that popped up 2021, I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't even know why you'd say that. It's so. No one thought that was happening. I don't understand. Sony's dumb and annoying. And until I get a PS5, I hate them. That's in conclusion. My PS4 is in its punishment office in the hallway, so I don't have to hear it.
So loud.
Yeah.
So I told you my brother-in-law entered a raffle to try to win a PS5.
Yeah.
And he won. So there's one of those raffles going on, and I entered it for $25, and I'll let you know next week
wow.
if I win.
So wait, hold on. You the only prize is the PS5, right?
Yeah. So it's
They're just buying this off a scalper, and they're getting a couple hundred people to pay $25, and then buying.
So yeah, that's basically what they do. But I'm only in it for 25. So I'm not paying like.
So said the other 200 people.
I'm not paying like $12.50 to pay it. It's like 40 out of 45 people. Yeah.
This sounds like a good scheme I could start running.
It's a good scheme.
I could.
It's a good scheme because that guy's gonna make a ton of money. I'm only spending 25. I'm not paying a scalper $12.50.
You sound like you're part of a pyramid scheme. Is what you're trying to pitch on me now.
Probably. But hey, if I lose $25,
he's gonna be selling us a timeshare.
Right.
if I lose $25, I don't like. Not a big deal to me. I don't want a PS5. Whatever. I'm not out there refreshing links, following Wario, refreshing his Twitter page. I'm just like,
that's fair.
I'm good as like.
I didn't realize how lucky I got when I pre-ordered mine back in like September or whatever, and actually pre-order. Like I did not think that I was that lucky, but I only know one other person out of like 7 other people I know that are trying to get them right now that has landed one.
Yeah, I don't know. People are getting them still. Like it's crazy.
It's hard. It's hard to get them, man. It's hard to get them.
And Ben said it the other week. Like it's probably easier to buy cocaine.
It probably is.
I mean, yeah, I would say it probably is.
You test that theory, blog it.
That sounds like a lot of work. Plus, then I end up with cocaine, which I do not want.
and a new cocaine blog to show for it.
Yeah, the cocaine fanatics.
Oh God!
I'm gonna review whatever this powder is. I don't know what it is.
All right, let's move on to the next news item.
Moving on. The rest of the news is quick news, or most of the rest of the news is quick news. We got some Bethesda. Nope. Square Enix presents next week, 3/18, whatever the hell day of the week that is. You can Google that if you want. But Square Enix is going to be talking about some upcoming games. There's Outriders stuff. There's Avengers stuff. There's Balan Wonderworld stuff.
What's with that game?
My God, don't even. You should play the demo because it's just horrific. In not necessarily in a good way. And also, the most interesting thing is there is a new Life is Strange that will be announced. They confirmed new characters and a new power, which is very exciting for me. I love Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm. 2 is okay. better than okay, but it's fine. I'm excited for this. I don't know if anyone else cares about new Life is Strange, but
Just Cause Mobile? Any takers?
no one, literally, I forgot about it because no one cares.
I didn't know that existed.
I think that might have been announced at this little tweet image. Who cares?
It's on the list. The
Under-
most incendiary series in gaming is coming to mobile, and you'll see it in action. Expect explosions, and probably some more explosions.
oh, I
I
hate
mean,
it.
I'd be disappointed if there weren't explosions in it.
That's
Just
fair.
asking.
Yeah.
New mobile game announcements. More mobile mayhem awaits from the award-winning Square Enix Montreal. Maybe some more Go games. They did Hitman Go, Tomb
Yeah.
Raider Go. Maybe
Those were good. I liked those.
They were pretty good. Yeah, I
like
them.
all of them. I enjoyed them.
Just Cause Go.
Just
Sure.
Just Cause Go.
Just Cause Go. I hope we get to see some Outriders endgame stuff because that's the only thing. Like, I don't care about the story for Outriders, but it's one of those things where like I would just like to know more about the game because like they haven't convinced me to want to spend money on it.
I think if they do that and they show here's several different, not necessarily raids, but that'd be cool. But just little dungeon things like these are end game dungeons for you to roll and all this different loot stuff you get. That could be really compelling for a lot of people. That sounds exciting in a Diablo-esque looter shooter. That sounds like a great time.
Yeah. Do you think they'll
Yeah.
do anything special for Tomb Raider's 25th anniversary?
I think the rumor was this is like a repackaging trilogy for the last one, the last trilogy, and putting that on next gen. I think that was the rumor that leaked or something.
I mean, that'd be cool. Those were,
Yeah,
for the most part, really good games.
quite good games. Yeah,
It doesn't get its own album
but
like Pokemon?
no, Post Malone will not be singing
I
a
was just about
cover
to say,
of
is it
the Black Eyed Peas or whatever the fuck happened. Like, no,
fucking Hootie?
I don't know what's going on with that. I'm still impressed. Post Malone's a real person. I still don't understand how that's a thing. I'm very excited for new Life is Strange. I love Life is Strange 1. This is not going to have anything to do with it, and I hate that. So, but what I want them to do with Life is Strange, the two things I want, and they can pick one,
Okay.
but if they do one of the two, I'm super in, is bring it back to like high school where you're just a kid doing high school shit. I think that was great for Life is Strange 1. Life is Strange 2, you're on the run from the law and you're still kids, but like this is not literally the best part for me of Life is Strange 2 was the beginning when there was high school drama slightly, and then they ran away from town. So perfect. Just get rid of that. And semi-related that I want them to do, perhaps even more importantly, is it does not need to be save the town or run away from the law, life or death. It doesn't need to be that. It should be simple bullshit. Like if the final boss of a game is I gotta pass this math test and I gotta go to some get my driver's license, like that sounds great. Make it super dumb like that. That's what I want from a choose your own adventure Degrassi-esque Life is Strange.
I was
I've
gonna
never
That's what
heard
I
it
say
want.
you just
described like
want a
that, but yeah.
Degrassi tactics game.
Yes, but
Social
Tactics.
that's the thing. Like Life is Strange is so close to that, and they're like, but you got to save the town. And also, there's a serial killer. But what if there weren't those things, and it was just the high schoolers? Because there's enough drama there with friends and bullshit. You don't need that. And oh my god, Before the Storm had more of that, and one of the best parts of that was a play you did with what's her name? The missing girl. Not you're playing as Chloe, but you're doing a play like for her because she's in the play, and you have to kind of act, and it's like this really cute thing, final boss of just being in a play and dealing with that with this girl you kind of like. It was really cool. That's what I want from this. That's different and unique. I don't need to be saving the world in every single fucking game. I don't need that. We can expand your horizons, video games.
All right, Ben.
That's it. That's my TED talk.
I know someone's excited for Thursday.
I am excited. I'm excited to be disappointed because Life is Strange 2 was very okay.
I'm excited to see what else they're bringing to mobile. I play a lot. I play mobile games just while I'm working. You know, I'm on that balloons kick right now.
No more balloons.
It's so fun. The little monkey. I just got Benjamin.
The little monkey?
He plays a little DJ set.
That sounds like me. Yeah.
He's great.
Okay. moving on to just a quick note about PS5 sales, since we talked about it too. The PS5 is the fastest selling console in the US history if you do dollar sales, which makes sense since it's $500.
Yeah.
Um, but still, that's crazy. It beats the Switch, which obviously was
Because it's
pretty
cheap.
significant and cheaper. But it's impressive too to think how much more they could have sold if they actually had sold more than 5 of them.
But Ben, they don't want our money.
They clearly don't.
Mm.
Clearly do not.
I wonder if it would have sold that much better if this is just a thing where they're selling so much because it's so hard to get.
Oh,
Selling like
interesting.
hotcakes.
Because you see those pictures of like scalpers buying up like warehouses full of PS5s,
Right.
and they're probably sitting for a while they try to sell them. And so it's like, if that wasn't happening, would these have sold that fast? Would they have these type numbers, and would the demand be so high if it was easier to get? You know what I mean?
I That's an interesting point actually, because if you had increased uh the amount at launch or whatever by 30%, would that have satiated the need? And then you wouldn't have had people scalping them because you could kind of get it somewhat easily. So that's a very interesting perspective on it. I don't think it's wrong. I think you might have something there. It definitely, the sales have been elevated by people scalping it or trying to raffle it for $25 a ticket. Um,
Wish me luck.
yeah, there you go.
I mean, Walmart will put it up and be like, it'll be available at 3 p.m. and then you like refresh at 2:59 and it's gone.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
me.
sold out, and I'm like, what? I wasn't even I was trying to help my dad get one, and it's like, this is just not possible, man.
No, it's not. I keep trying, like, almost every single time there is a drop like that. I'm either at work or I'm asleep or I'm there and I still miss it, and it's just, well, why
And
can't I
then
get put on the list?
the PlayStation queues are even worse, where you have to wait like 45 minutes for you to get sent to a
Right.
site where it tells you, oh, sorry, it's sold out.
Yeah. Those are
It's
the
like,
ones I never get. That's when I'm asleep and I wake up in the morning like, oh, that happened again. All right.
it's like, well, why didn't you just cut off the queue? Like, why are you still letting people wait?
Yeah, why are you
I
putting
It's
people in the
gone.
digital line already? Like, what's with this?
I said this, I think, way back in maybe November, December. Why can't I go on PlayStation, register my ID, make it connected to my credit card? I can only buy one. I'll pay for it now, and you just ship it when you get it. Like, why can't I do that?
Why
How
can't
is
there
that
be some
not a
sort of
thing?
like authentication system with
Yeah.
like a two-factor authentication system? You register a card, like some sort of like way to prevent scalpers or bots
Yes.
or something. Like, what's going on here,
There's
people?
got to be a better way to do this.
How is it
It's like,
harder to get back into my Gmail than it is to buy this shit? Like, come on, give us a secure way to buy this stuff. What's going on here,
It seems
you
like it should be
freaks?
so easy, but I
I
guess
mean, it'd
not.
probably be easier if they just sold it in stores. It
Yeah,
wouldn't be
I'll
so,
put
I
on a
don't think
mask and
it'd
some
be as
gloves. Let me
hard
in.
But I think they,
online.
yeah, I don't think they can, since they're selling so quickly online. And then
True, yeah.
when it pops up in Target, it's like it's only shipped to stores. Like, that probably means the stores got it and they would have sold it in store, but they can't because it just immediately
Right.
is online
It's
gone.
allotted to someone who
Yeah.
ordered it online, yeah.
Nonsense. That's what it is. Bunch of garbage. So yay. Final bit of news. And I was gonna put this on the news items last week, but then this week we got kind of more information with it. So this is about Hogwarts Legacy and the developer who left the studio. There's a lot to unpack with this.
This is such a
Um,
weird. I did watch the video that you posted
yeah,
in Discord, and it's such a weird video to watch, but at the same time, like it did add a lot of context to the
oh yeah,
situation because I did kind of follow it a little bit, and then I was kind of like I don't care, but then I did watch the video, and I think it sheds a lot of light on games media in general, especially
right.
a lot of what's going on. Anytime there's like one little thing and the very like progressive left reacts and then just doesn't correct or follow up or do any further digging, or they just like kind of go on this crazy rampage and then just like they're done. They get their clicks, they get their story, and then they don't follow up or anything. So I thought it was really interesting. His video made me like kind of get a different perspective on his side of the story, and then kind of be like, okay, all right, interesting. But yeah, if you wanted to continue, Ben.
Right. No, you're fine. Yeah, it's. I do think the larger story is more directed at the gaming media and how they've portrayed this. He brings this up where he's not a designer. He wasn't the lead designer of this project.
Exactly.
But if
Yeah.
you look at every article about it, every headline about it, it's Hogwarts Legacy designer. He was the series senior producer on the project for the last year and a half, 2 years. I think he was hired as the lead designer at the studio, but he was no longer for at least the last year. Um, and so that's already wrong with all these headlines, and I'm even looking through stuff now. You go to the Polygon article or the Kotaku article about it, not to single out them, although I already did yell about Polygon earlier. Um, Unrelated. There's no update, there's no retraction, there's no like, "Oh, wait, he's actually the producer." It's different. Um, and it's also weird, I don't see an article the article on Kotaku now is still the title's still developer quits following backlash over the thing. Not that he left over family reasons, that he was trying to retire last year and then didn't. He took a sabbatical and then came back and then was like, "No, this got worse. So I gotta leave. I'm gonna retire." Like he's retiring. He's not quitting. He's not all these other things. It's just such a weird. It's such a weird thing. And he also brings up his videos, which was unearthed that start this whole thing, that aren't even that incendiary.
Yeah, they make him out to be like a right wing or far right or even alt
Nut
right.
job or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and then they make him out to be like an anti feminist or something like that. And and he went over, he's like, I am a feminist. Like he's like, I don't understand. Like it was just funny, like hearing him kind of go over it and the fact that he's like I'm about equality. He's like, I'm not for having he's like, I don't want to be the type of feminist where women stomp on men. He's like, I want us to be equals, like just that type of thing. And it was just interesting to hear his perspective and how he was demonized, but it's just because people didn't do their like they didn't actually do the research that they should have because they
Even in
oh good.
No, no. Well, even in this article that I pulled up from Kotaku, because that's where I found the quote for Phil Spencer, um, they have an update and they talk about this video. At no point do they say, "Oh, we also have his fucking job title wrong, and he didn't quit because of this." So they found the video. Like this video exists. Let's not update or amend any of our coverage to actually reflect facts. It's just really weird to me that it's very clear there's an agenda, and I understand people really are upset about J.K. Rowling and all that. And even in this video, goes on to say like, "I support trans people." Like this is like
Yeah.
ridiculous. I don't know why this is such a thing. I think this story is such a perfect example of what's kind of wrong with reporting in general. If you can get so much wrong and then everyone else just kind of takes that, makes their own article, they don't do their own research. This article, I assume, is already correct, right? So I'm going to repackage it and put it on my site. And you end up with 400 articles all based on one thing that was wrong originally.
Yeah. It just it we live in a
Yay.
time
It's
where
surprising it's
it's
not updated anywhere.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I'm only on Kotaku, but I don't.
It's just we live in a time where it's really easy to make everyone angry on Twitter. And
oh yeah,
especially J.K. Rowling's name in an article about a Harry Potter game right now is the easiest way to make, an already toxic community, which is gamers, like angry. And you already have the gaming media, gaming journalists that are far already leaning far left, like, you know, with these articles especially, they can easily stir up anger and, crazy reactions so easily too. And it's just it's it's one of those times where they got it wrong and they didn't correct it. And
Right.
this guy was, I think him making a video to set the record straight was kind of the right thing to do. And he didn't really have to do it, but
No.
I think he did it, and it allowed him to explain himself to the people that I think he wanted to do it for, which is his coworkers and his friends and the people that do care about his project and maybe what he worked on, and maybe people that just know him in general. But I think for me, like, not really knowing who he is and not really knowing much about the project, but just maybe hearing about the game at a glance and already knowing there's a lot of controversy about it, this was just here, like, listening to that video was kind of a good way to just kind of get a perspective about the what's already surrounding the game as far as like controversy, and feeling like, well, it looks like this shit's not going to go away, and I already know that most of it is probably going to be overblown.
I'm doing a quick Googlies. So this video went up Friday, early morning, I believe, early-ish morning. IGN does not have an updated article. Their article still says from 9 days ago that the lead designer quits following the controversy, which is still not true. Um, what the hell did I just click on GameSpot? Hold on, the fuck was that?
Oh, jeez.
I'm seeing if GameSpot did it, but so far, no site I've checked, no major site I've checked has the correct headline or information. It's just very sad, I think. Now, I'm fine with you being left leaning and all that, because I'm left, certainly on the left, but I would like you to correct yourself if you get something wrong. And it starts, this is the whole fucking issue. Once I see you've done something stupid like this, how much else are you doing stupid? Should I now be worried about other articles? Do I now not believe anything I hear from you? Like that's the slippery slope with this, and kind of burning a lot of goodwill on something totally unnecessary on this is very strange to me. I don't, trying to find Hogwarts Legacy.
Well, you can't. You haven't been invited to the school.
Dang it.
Hell.
I'm a little old.
You're a little too old. You know what? Like, for me, when this stuff gets all crazy, and then especially like once they start, once politics get involved, like for me, it's like I just, want to think about the game. I just want to play the game.
Fair.
We're finally getting to a Harry Potter game that's gonna be like an RPG.
Looks cool.
Looks cool.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be one of these like, not that I didn't enjoy the games that were based off the movies, but I'm excited for an actual game. I want to make my own character. I want to level up my potions. I want to play Quidditch.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was excited when I saw it. I'm excited to dive in and play it.
I want to get in Ravenclaw.
Okay. That's fine.
I want to smoke some Hogwarts weed. Get in trouble.
No.
The headmaster,
Oh shit, dude.
That
Get suspended,
It's a dangerous game you're playing there, man.
Want to live.
That'd be funny.
Live that Hogwarts life.
Yeah, living that out if you could get suspended. Oh man.
Your son.
What
got
happens if
suspended
you
from
fail all the
Hogwarts
tests?
for smoking Hogwarts weed? Wow, they really put everything in this
She
game.
just ended up becoming like this complete failure as a wizard.
Yeah.
Hogwarts
dead
dropout.
You find him in the hall just chilling.
I chose the Hogwarts dropout path.
You're supposed to be in class.
Yeah, be in class? No.
It's a side
Class is for
side quest.
losers.
It's part of the
Why
DLC.
are you even here?
Yeah. This is prestigious school. Like, come on.
Oh, man.
Do you care about your education?
Just wanted that Hogwarts weed.
Yeah, I know.
Find me at Diagon Alley.
I'm
selling
still
the pot.
confused in the world of Harry Potter. There's a lot of wizards, but like, what do they do? What are their jobs? There's like
Good
cops.
question.
There's
Yeah.
cops, and there's teachers, and then there's Quidditch.
Yeah.
And like, what do other people do? Are there other jobs?
Yeah, I always thought that was weird because like
Spies or something going on there. They could
I don't know what they're doing. They're hunting for beasts. I don't know what people
Yeah,
do in this world.
Yeah, that's true. Because some of them don't even know
there's
like
a lot of
what
wizards.
Muggles do.
Yeah, they don't even know what muggles do. I don't even know what you do. What the
Yeah,
fuck do you do? Are
exactly.
there like accountants? Are there wizard accountants?
There's
Well, there
gotta
must be because we have the goblins, so we got the banks. But like, what the? There's a lot of missing jobs, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
maybe this game can pad out
Mm,
the lore and kind of guide us and
yeah, you can pick a career path. Well, you got
yeah.
to think too. Wizards and all that. That's based more on a society that is before the technological revolution. So there's just a lot of farming. Like, what are
maybe
these wizards doing? What are all of them doing?
the wizard breeder.
Oh man. I think they just all go to school and then they just go to school again once they're done with school. I don't know what the fuck they do.
Just go to school forever.
Oh yeah, I guess you need people to run the Quidditch, so you have to like prepare the field and
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
but who would want to? I mean, who would want to go to a prestigious wizard school to do that? You know,
And there's bands. So there's like music and shit in Harry Potter. So there's bands that went to wizard school and then decided to play guitar instead.
I bet like if I reread those books, it would answer some of these questions.
I hope so, because I feel like it's a
Yeah,
giant hole. Yeah,
Maybe.
it's not good.
there's some long books there towards the end too. Just don't remember them very well.
That's fair.
All right, let's move on to our favorite part of the
Fine.
show, where we're gonna talk about games that we're playing,
If we must.
if we must. Trevor, you're our special guest, so why don't you start off and tell us about a game that you're playing?
Sure, I've been playing Persona 5 Strikers.
Ooh.
A lot of it. I'm a really, really big Persona fan. My Persona 5 obsession is kind of crazy. It's like when my, you know how you can go in those apps and see what game you played the most of over the past year?
Yeah.
Persona 5 was 1 year, and then it was Persona 5 Royal was another year. And now it's probably going to be Persona 5 Strikers. That's like how obsessed I am with that series. But I recently played Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity.
Okay.
Um, I played it a little late, so I played it in like January, and I wasn't a huge fan of it, to be completely honest. First of all, it ran pretty poorly on the Switch, but also it was just so far away. And I know that it was meant to be, but it's just so far away from what like I think of as a Zelda game that it was just not enticing to me. It was a little bit mundane, and I found it kind of difficult to get its hooks in me. The story was pretty good, but overall I was kind of like disappointed with it. Persona 5 Strikers leans much heavier into feeling like a Persona game
Yeah.
aside from the combat. So like you even like jump into, I don't know if you guys played it, but like you even jump into like these ambushes and stuff similar to where you would in Persona 5 and a turn-based battle. It's just that would, instead of resulting in a uh turn-based battle system, it'd be like a bunch of enemies pop up and you're in like Muso combat for a little while.
Okay. I've seen some
But
gameplay of it. It looked pretty good.
the story is really good. The characters, the art's really well done. Um, the menu system is insanely stylish and just so cool, just
Ah,
like
of
I would
course.
truly expect from a Persona game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed. I think I'm like 25 or so hours into it. It's a very long game. I'm like
Oh God.
nowhere near finished with it. I think I finished Hyrule Warriors at 25 hours ish.
Oh,
And I don't think I'm anywhere close to done with Persona 5 Strikers yet.
dang. How many hours did you put into Persona 5 The Royal?
I platinumed it.
Oh jeez.
Probably about 200 or so hours.
Good lord. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah,
No.
That's bad for
probably
you.
not enough. I mean, like, yeah.
Not enough?
I liked it a lot. I was a big fan of Royal. All the quality of life stuff was really good. It made replaying it worth it, and I liked the ending to Royal significantly better than the original. So
Hmm.
Okay. So maybe worth playing.
definitely.
So maybe.
So maybe worth
Eh,
playing.
maybe.
I don't know if I could put myself through that again. That's so much time.
Yeah, if you recently played Persona 5, then it would be a tough one to go through again because there's about 100 hours of gameplay that are very similar to Persona 5.
Oh God.
Um, but if you haven't played Persona 5 since launch, then I'd say it's worth it. It's worth giving it
I'm
a
trying
go.
to remember when. I think maybe 2019. I think is the last time I played it. Be too soon. I don't have the time.
Right.
I can't do it. I can't do
I
it.
can do it.
I can't do it.
No.
No. Cool. Oh, am I losing you? Hello?
No.
You guys still there?
Sorry.
No,
You guys hear me?
my internet botched.
No, I was getting the good pregnant pause.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it. That's all I've been playing really. I jumped back into Animal Crossing New Horizons a little bit. It's been so long since I played it. I almost wanted to completely start over. Um and just like start completely fresh cuz it's just like a disaster trying to reorganize
Yeah.
the way I want.
If you could,
Um
if you could add one thing to that game that it doesn't have, what would you add to it
oh man,
to make it
spot,
better?
on the spot. I would say fix this problem I'm having right now and make it easier for me to start from scratch while still keeping all my shit.
Oh, okay.
Um, without having to spend a fortune to move everything around, right? Like,
Hmm.
'cause if I want to move all the houses to like the beach where while I terraform for a bit,
Oh, it takes forever.
it
Yeah,
it costs so many bells, dude,
that's crazy.
to like move everything out and then move it back. You know what I mean? So yeah, you'd have to put in hours and hours to collect all the money to get everything out and then terraform and then move everything back in where you want it, and it's just a really big pain. So
Yeah.
if I could just kind of be like, hey, give me like a clean slate, but also don't remove all the stuff that I've spent, 70 hours collecting, um, that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Understandable.
makes sense.
I just every time I go back to it, like I find myself just disappointed. Like, cause I really did. I put over 200 hours into that, almost 300 hours into that game, and I just hit a point to where I was like, there's just nothing I do in here that will fulfill me like Stardew Valley did, and because like you just run out of like everything else that they add is just always about collecting, right? And there's just like I was like, it'd be cool if you could do more with the stuff. Like I wish I could, I don't know, like I wish the items were more usable. Like everything that you like the furniture, like the machines, like the coffee machine, like I wish there was just more you could do.
Hmm.
And I don't know if it's something they're going to add, just more features. Like I just feel like there's something limiting about the game. Like it's almost like it almost gets there, but then it just like stops you from
Hmm.
doing more. And I don't know what it is. It's just like I think you end up playing games that are just more featureful or feature heavy. That you when you play Animal Crossing, you just kind of feel like, well, I did everything I can, but like it's just kind of boring. Like even if the fishing was a little more challenging and I don't know, just little things like that I find kind of dissatisfying about it. But I did put a lot of time into it, so it's not like
Right.
I didn't get enough out of it. So I have
I
a
mean,
hard
after
time
a
going
couple
back.
100 hours, it'd be easy to get burnt out on it.
Yeah.
I think a little bit.
I'm
I
also
had to pace
like
myself.
I'm also upset that like so for example, like I started the island with like my kids, right? And so they have their houses on my island, and then we ended up getting all three of my kids each their own like Nintendo Switch Lite for Christmas. And then my daughter decided she wanted to get Animal Crossing. It's like, oh, cool. Well, I can transfer your island over. I think. I still don't know if you can, but I know there's like a save data app. She's like, oh no, I'm just gonna start my own one. And I was like, okay, cool. So I just have your island, your character here.
Yeah,
I can't
you
do
just have
anything with
Trash
it.
Island.
Can't delete
Trash
her. Can't vote her off the island. Can't do crap. She's just there. This
That's a good point.
character will
Could you
never
get
do
rid of them?
anything. You can't do anything with
Yeah.
them.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah. Anyways, I could go on forever about Animal Crossing. Anyways, cool. All right. Do you have any like games that you go back to constantly that are like your go-to multiplayer games or anything like that?
Um, the game I go back to constantly is probably Breath of the Wild. Honestly,
Oh,
I play a lot of it. It's one of those like comfort food games for me when I have nothing else to play. It's what I turn on.
nice.
Um, I play. I used to play a lot of Destiny. Fell off that when the friends that I played with didn't play it too much anymore. And every once in a while, I'll play like Apex or um,
Yeah, Apex.
yeah. But mostly, I play mostly single player games. Um, and yeah, the Breath of the Wild is just such like a collectathon. I still have so much I need to do in that game. It's nice to go back to discover new things.
Cool. All right. Ben, do you want to go?
Sure.
I'll go for
Played
it too.
more
Sorry.
garbage. Uh,
Played more garbage.
played more trash. I think this is my fifth Resident Evil game this year.
Oh, jeez. But you love those
No,
games.
yeah, fifth. Oh yeah, I do. Of course, of course I do. So I played, finished over the last like week and a half Resident Evil 6. This is the most controversial one. I think it is also still the best selling Resident Evil game.
Did it pass 5?
Oh, maybe it's 5. It's 5 or 6. I know it's 5 or
Yeah,
6.
it's one of those two.
Um, yeah. And people really don't like 6. There's a lot of issues with 6. The camera and the controls are really weird.
Mm.
Like your character is half the screen, I feel like, and you move quick and zip and zoop around, and it's kind of jarring. You go back to play some other game, and you kind of gotta like settle yourself because it's not how a game should look or play. Um, that being said, I do really like 6. It has 4 campaigns. One's kind of a shorter little campaign, but so 3 main 6-hour campaigns, and they all kind of weave into each other in interesting ways. So I didn't play it online because the whole game's co-op as well, but you can play it online. And when you're playing online, when the paths converge, the other players will just plop into your game as other real people from that campaign that they're playing online, and that's really cool.
Oh, that's
Uh,
interesting.
yeah, it's way ahead of its time, I think, with that, or way too ambitious for what it needs to be in the first place.
Yeah.
There's like a boss fight where the 2 parties meet and then it splits you off with one member of the other team. So if you're playing online, you're gonna end up playing with like some rando who's also playing with their friend that is a co-op partner that's playing with your friend. Like it's really cool. And you can also have you can invade other people's games. That's like why just why? There's so many things in this. Why would you do this? There's parts in this game where when you play that final 4th campaign, you might realize like there was someone online helping me in the background of this scene that I had no idea about. It's really cool. Totally unnecessary. Um
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
yeah, it's wild. And I really like the game. I like the plot of it. It's very convoluted, like I said, 4 plots all going on at the same time, and they all have their own bad guy and like nonsense they're up to. I did find though on the Steam page because I'm playing it on Steam. It's there's a listing like play it in this order since everything's told out of order, right? So it's like play Leon's chapters 1 through 3, then go play Chris's chapters 1 and 2,
Oh,
then go
weird.
play Jake's chapters 1 and 2, and it's like it sounds like a giant mess, and it is, but it makes it really interesting because you'll play through Leon's campaign and he'll be like, "Oh, we got to go to find this guy because he's the bad guy. Where is he?" They're like on the phone. "Where is he?" "He's in China." And they're like, "We're going to China." And then it cuts to Chris's campaign and it's like such and such time, China. There's been an outbreak. And he's like running through the thing. He's like, "Oh shit, China, what's going on in China?" So it starts looping back and forth with all these characters. It's really cool when you play it in that order. The order that the game is not presented to you in at all. Uh, which is unfortunate. And I do think I'm surprised they never went back in and did something to this to make it in order, because having it like that did add a lot to the experience. You understood all the characters. It wasn't like you play a whole campaign and go like, "Well, I don't know what the fuck Chris was up to. I saw him for 10 minutes and he went away." Now you know why he's there, you know what he's chasing, you know why he was upset with you or whatever. Uh Really cool to definitely, if you're going to play it, I don't know what other idiot's going to play it this year. Uh but if you are, find that list. It's really easy to find on the Steam like forums or whatever for the game, and play it in that order. It really adds a lot to it, add a lot of context. It adds like some really fun dramatic beats where like, oh no, they got captured, and then you'll play as someone else for 2 chapters and then go back to the captured people. So like it adds some suspense to it in areas that if you were just playing it in order, like, oh, we're captured. Okay, we escape. Like, all right, well,
Right,
maybe
right.
add some little space there. Uh, Really cool
So
game though.
so Resident Evil 5 was the highest selling.
Okay, it
Resident
was
Evil
5.
6 is second. So
Okay.
Resident Evil 5 has sold 13 million copies. This is from October 2020
Yes.
article. Resident Evil 6 11.2 mil, and then Resident Evil 4 10.3
And then
mil.
4. Yeah. Okay, that checks out. It's unfortunate that those have both sold more than 4. I do think 6 is better than 5, especially when you go back and play it now.
Yeah.
um, you can move and shoot, which I'm fine with the stop and pop, but I guess it's not stop and pop, but
Sounds like a dance.
it's a weird, yeah, it's a weird like gyration you do in 5, but also in 6 your partner isn't a complete moron and you don't have to babysit them the whole time. Like you don't have to give them ammo or heal them or anything, and that's something in 5 that is not good. Do not like that at all.
Agree.
Yeah. But I really liked 6. A couple more notes just real quick. You have to run from the camera at several instances, and I thought it was really funny that they included that for no reason, and it's terrible. It's just as bad as you'd imagine it is running from the camera or running into the camera. It's just
Yeah,
terrible.
I never
Real bad.
liked it when games do that.
Yeah. They do a good job of making you do like fun action set pieces. It almost feels like Uncharted in a lot of moments in this game. There's some cool stuff with Leon where the city's like outbreak is going on and you're running through all these fiery streets and stuff. Really interesting. And then finally, never forget the giraffe logo. Remember the Resident Evil 6 logo that looks like a giraffe getting a blowjob?
Oh, jeez.
You can never unsee it. You can never unsee it. Man, I just change it. Just change the logo. Just change it. You got to change it. It's bad. It's real bad. Yeah. So that was Resident Evil 6. Yay.
Yay.
Real quick, because I have 7,000 things on my list. I do want to mention Forager because I know Joel, you played Forager
Yeah.
forever ago.
I think I played it when it was on early access and on Steam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a long time. So it's on Game Pass,
It is.
and that's why I played it. I played like an hour of it, maybe. I'm glad I didn't buy it, but I get it. I get why people like the game. It The pacing of it's too fast, so you're foraging for materials and just upgrading it, and then it's one of those games. Just look it up and see it. It's fine.
It gets crazy fast all of a sudden, and you're like producing machines, and then they start
Yeah,
like at a certain point, the machines are producing too fast to where you like it gets hard to keep up with it. And like I think
yeah.
at one point I had two different islands that were just packed with producing like um ingots. And so I
Okay.
had like it was just getting crazy, and I was like, "This is too much." And then I had like multiple turrets that were also running around doing stuff, and I was just like, "What is happening here? This is
Yeah,
crazy."
I did not get that far. I got a couple separate islands and made stuff, and then like inventory started to be a thing. I get it. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
This is too much. This is way too stressful for what this is. Also, I feel like this should be way more chill.
Yeah.
Uh, but I did play. I was playing that while I waited for GameFly to send
Gamefly.
me my GameFly game for the week, which was Black Ops Cold War.
Oh, weird.
And so so I on the Xbox app you can install games that you don't even own,
What?
which
That's interesting.
yeah, which is a weird thing. But if the example I will give is if you pre-ordered a physical edition of something, let's say, like because you want the collector's edition, but you don't want to wait to get the disc to start installing and
Okay.
then play, you know what I mean? You could preloaded in advance. That makes sense. Or if you're me and you're trying to, install Call of Duty, which is 700 gigs before you get the disc, sure, GameFly, this is perfect for that. Not in this instance, no. So I install the game, I put the disc in, I go to log in. It turns out you have to have a login to play fucking Call of Duty. I have to deal with that shit. I finally get past that, and then it says, then it crashes. So then I boot the game back up, and it says you have to buy it. I'm like, I don't understand why I would have to buy it. I have the disc. I install the disc again, or not again, for the first time because I installed it from the app. I install again, go through. That's 100 gigs. That finally finishes. I go to play the game. It still asks me to buy it. So then I have to uninstall everything and then reinstall it, and then it works. So thanks a lot. Really saved me a lot of fucking time. Giant 700 gig nonsense I had to
Oh
do
my
for this stupid
god.
fucking game.
Game takes up so much
It's
space.
so much. I think
Why?
it's 100. It's 170 gigs is what it installed.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
Like
like,
without like the campaign and stuff, because I remember when I installed it, it only installed like multiplayer and some other than zombies and just like everything but the campaign, and it was
interesting.
still like a just ridiculously.
Uh, I think it installed everything. Um, yeah, it installed everything because I have Warzone on there and it says I
Okay,
can play it.
yeah,
Uh,
maybe it takes up so much space though,
it's a
man.
lot of space. Yeah, it's a lot of space. Way too much space. So, but anyway, I finally got to play the game, and I really liked the campaign overall. There's some cool plot stuff it does, especially towards the end. It kind of tries to do a Bioshock in a way. I won't go into that. Not that anyone really cares about the plot spoilers of a Call of Duty game. I also think it's super cool that they made a Cold War game and there's two endings, so you can actually uh, have a pro Russia ending, kind of, or a pro America, like where one where America wins, one where the USSR
Ooh.
wins. Like that's really interesting, and I liked a lot of the characters, I guess. It does run into the problem I feel like a lot of these Call of Duties or a lot of video games in particular run into, where they introduce like 7 characters, and then it's like, "Oh, Moss is over there. He's pinned down. You gotta rescue him." I'm like, "I don't know who the fuck that is."
Yeah,
And
who is
I
that?
can't believe Moss is dead. I'm like, "Who is Moss? Who is this person?" Like they just need to pare down the amount of people and vary them more because it's like, oh, the one girl, I know her because it's the only girl on the team. It's hard to forget her. So then there's him, and there's the guy with a scar on his face. I was like, okay, I know him. And it was also weird. He has a scar on his face, and then they have flashbacks, and he doesn't have a scar. And I'm like, oh, like we're gonna show, and he's gonna get his scar. Never happened. All
Hmm.
right, fine. Just that was just there. He just has a scar. Okay, I thought that'd be important, but I guess not. But they have all these other characters. I don't know who. At one point, you play as them, and then I went back to playing as my character, and I was like, who did I play as? Was it you or you? Or I don't know the difference between you. You're just both kind of angry dudes. I don't know who you are. So I feel like they could have kind of made that. And one guy like betrays you at some point, but not like betrays you like double crosses you. But he just doesn't tell you everything, and you kind of get mad at him. And I'm like, but did you go with me or who are you exactly? Like it's just too many people. Uh, but I did really enjoy it. There's a lot of really cool moments within the story. It's Call of Duty. You kind of know what to expect at this point. Solid, totally solid campaign. I'm probably gonna go through and do like one of the optional missions that I didn't do because there's 2 optional missions and you have to like decode messages. So I had to solve a puzzle basically to get into one of the missions,
Hmm.
which is I had to find evidence in other missions and then go into like the evidence room or whatever menu, and then find like, okay, this is a number station, and the number station for this city is matches this, and then if I put that number in this, that's the password, and then that gives me this other piece of information. It was really cool. And just a little puzzle to solve for 2 of the optional missions. Fun, really, I really liked it. Really liked it. I will mention I had one point fell off a building that I was not supposed to fall off of, and then the game auto saved, and I had to redo the whole mission. So
Oh no.
good
Wait, so
time.
like when you would load it, you would just be falling off the building? Or it just like
No, I
glitched?
was off the building already. I fell off the building, was fine, and then was like, I'm stuck here off the
You were just
building.
like outside the level,
Yep.
essentially.
Yeah. I was behind a
Nice.
fence. So if I had fallen a little farther, I would have fallen back to the very beginning of the level. And I think I could have gone back to where I was. But because I fell in like behind a fence that you can't jump over, and you're not supposed to be there, I couldn't. I had to redo the whole level. And it was only like 15 minutes, but it's still like, why did it autosave there? What even why is there not two autosaves? So if I fuck up, I could go back.
Right.
It was annoying. I also in that mission in particular, but even before that, the performance on Series X isn't amazing. Um, I would zoom in with the rifle, and then when you zoomed out, it was very noticeable. Like we're dropping half the frames here for a little bit, just a short little bit. But as you come out of the scope, basically,
Hmm.
not great. Look, it looks good, but I feel like the last game looked better. I don't know. It just might be my memory of it. Um,
I played it on PS5 a little bit. I haven't played a ton of it, but I did notice that it looked a lot better than like um man, I think I played the PS4 version cuz it came out on PS4
right.
before the systems actually launched or something like that. I think
Mm,
I played the
yeah.
PS4 version a little bit before I played the PS5 version, and I thought it was a pretty nice upgrade. In terms, it has like 120
Yeah,
frames
it does.
load
Yeah.
on it, which is pretty nice. Uh, I thought it looked a little bit cleaner, but then again, I didn't play it much. I played a little bit of the campaign, never finished it, but I had fun with some of like the mechanics and stuff they had in there.
Right. I will say I did play the last Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I played that on PC. So I played that at 4K 60. Like I
Yeah,
already yeah, so
that
like
helps.
going from that to this, I was like, I don't know if this is better. I feel like this is not as good. But
Right,
then
right.
sometimes it still looked great. I mean, obviously
I
it
had a lot more fun with Modern Warfare than this one.
I agree. I liked that campaign more. I like this campaign. What Cold War has going for it is it does feel less like let's just make a bombastic action movie. I feel like there's more
Run, shoot. Yeah,
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
It feels like they had a cohesive or coherent vision for it as opposed to we got to make another action movie. Like they kind of had a story they wanted to tell, and that was interesting and compelling with it. I just don't know if they really knocked it out of the park. Uh,
Hmm.
I think Park is one of the characters actually. I think that's the woman Park. Yeah, that sounds right. Anyway, you get to name your character, and I named my character Beep Boop. And then they give him a code name, and so every mission it says the name of who you're playing as. So it'll be Beep Bell, which is my code name. So Beep Bell Boop,
Oh,
and
jeez.
then it crosses them out. It says Bell. I'm like I'm 4 years old. I'm just
So good.
Beep Boop.
That's great.
Nice.
Really enjoyed it. It's actually one of those games where if someone beat it, I would love to talk to them about it because there were some really cool plot stuff it does towards the end that I don't know if it's entirely earned, but it is really interesting and they went for it. And I don't know if they really needed to go that hard. Um, and I don't want to necessarily spoil what they did. I would liken it to a mm, that mm, I would liken it to the ashtray maze, not in execution or anything like that, but it's a similar section of like, oh wow, you're really doing something different here. Um, that happens towards the end of the campaign. I enjoyed it, and off it goes back to GameFly.
See ya.
See ya, game. Fly away.
Cool.
Do you want to go, Joel? I talked for 20 minutes about garbage, so
Cool. All right. Sure. I only got a couple things. So, um, I spent a lot of time this week trying to complete this exotic quest in Destiny 2 for a gun called Dead Man's Tale, which was this exotic scout rifle. It looks like a rifle from like an old western, and it is the coolest gun I've ever seen in Destiny. And it is probably the hardest quest I've ever played in Destiny. and it involved mainly you go to like this abandoned ship, and you're sneaking through the vents, trying to like unlock different doors. Kind of has this cool like horror film like feeling to it, and you're going through and you're seeing like this fungus plant that has grown, and it's put up like this weird like goo door, and the only way to get through it without burning to death is by like getting some of the spores on you. So it's really different from what they've done, and at least from what I know about, because I kind of fell off Destiny for a while and just got recently back into it. And so you get the spores on you, you go through, you solve the little door puzzles to get through other doors, to get to the vents, to sneak through, to get to certain parts of it. Eventually you get to all these combat sections, and some of the hard, like if you're doing this solo, it's pretty damn hard. And so I tried several times throughout the week to get through it by myself. Couldn't do it. I would get to the boss and it's just too hard. It's this guy with a giant, like, he's got this chain, and at the end of it, he's got this spiked ball that shoots fire when he slams it on the floor. And he would just annihilate me quickly. So, when was it? Yesterday? It's Friday night, I think. I recruited my cousin, who had no idea about it. So first we had to go get the quest. He had to go pick up the quest. Then I had to basically guide him through doing the entire quest, because he had to also solve the puzzles with me, get through the vents, all that shit. We got through the first couple combat sections. We got to the boss, and then I had to teach him how to beat the boss, because there's not only the surviving the waves of enemies, but you also have to flush the heat, like you have to
The vents
flush the vents so that you don't burn to death. So I had to teach him all this at the same time. It's like, okay, now that you got it down, we just got to survive. We got to get his 3 bars down. Boom, we did it. We finally got through it. It took us maybe 2.5 hours, but we got the gun. And then it was just like, now I want to take this in a multiplayer and test it out. And I don't know if it was worth all that time, but
And it
sucks.
sucks.
I fucking love that gun. At the same time, I also got enough of the currency or whatever to go buy what's called the Monte Carlo, which is one of my favorite guns from Destiny 1, to play in multiplayer. And I've got like this great little combo that I use in multiplayer now, which is great because I feel like I don't suck ass at multiplayer now. So I'm kind of getting my groove back there. But yeah, that was Destiny 2, that portion. And then I've been talking about it the last couple weeks, but Bravery Network Online, it's a game I got from Pop Agenda, so thank you, Pop Agenda, for the code. Last couple weeks, I was having a hard time really kind of getting the hang of the game. So I haven't played too much of it, but basically the game does a horrible job of explaining or giving you a way to really learn more about it. So like if you kind of blow through the tutorial and you kind of have a hard time understanding like what the different types of moves do and what they mean and the tricks and all sorts of shit. Like basically like if you go into Pokemon, you're like, okay, like fire burns leaf and water puts out fire. Easy. They don't use the same type of shit in this game, so it's going to be kind of hard to remember this stuff if you don't pay attention to it right off the bat and then you don't remember it. So once I was back in the game and I was playing it, and I was like, okay, there's got to be somewhere to relearn this stuff so I can get the hang of this game. So I went to I went into the community page on Steam, scrolled down, found their fandom wiki, clicked into there, and read through pages of like their fucking information and started playing. I was like, okay, I'm starting to get the hang of this. And then it just clicked. And I was starting to get the hang of like what everything meant, how it worked. I put a brand new like team together because you could put together different teams. Then I started going through there's like one of the people that you talk to in the game to start recruiting different team members. And the way you recruit them is by battling them. So it started turning into Pokemon. So I started battling them. Once you beat them, you go through little like actually, it almost kind of turned like Persona, because once you beat them, you have to talk to them and kind of convince them to join your team. And so, not all of them. Some of them just join. Some of them, you can talk to them and convince them to just join your team without battling them. So, it kind of has this cool, like, structure. And once you talk to them and they join your team, then you can rebuild your squad, put them in. You can also change out their abilities and moves, and it's it's cool. It's got this nice little like RPG mechanic to it that I'm really enjoying. But it feels like a Pokemon game in a way where you're just like collecting more and more of these people in a way, and you're battling them against like other versions of themselves. And there's an online component that I'm gonna probably jump into a little bit more because they're gonna put out ranked mode, and I'm just kind of getting the hang of like different squads to see what I like the most. But I've got like 4 different teams together, and as you kind of play through it, you gain currency, which is called swag or sway. I'm not sure, either one. But you just kind of upgrade your characters that way and level up moves, and yeah, it's pretty cool. If anybody likes RPGs out there, it's a pretty cool game. It's like $15 on Steam, and it's still kind of early access. So they're still adding more and more to it, but I would check it out. It's a pretty fun little game, and the soundtrack is awesome. So I'd put that out there. The music is really good in it. The art is really neat. It kind of looks like a mix of Scott Pilgrim and I don't know. That's it. That's all I recognize from Scott Pilgrim. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a really cool style.
Yeah. The music though, the music is really nice. But yeah, that's all. I played some other stuff. I played more Apex Legends and having fun with that. I downloaded Forza new. Which one's the new?
4?
No, the Horizon. Which one?
Horizon 2?
The one that's on Game Pass.
I think all of them are. So
The latest one.
okay.
5 Horizon.
4.
4 Horizon.
No, it's Forza 4. Wait,
It's Forza Horizon. There should.
I don't remember.
I think it's 4.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
They're separate franchises. Like, you know what I mean? They're separate numbers for
Yeah.
them. I don't.
I think
Forza
Motorsport's on like
Horizon 4.
7 or something. Okay.
Forza Horizon 4. Okay.
Yeah, and 2 Point Hospital.
4's good. It's
So I'm
really
gonna start
fun.
playing those this week. I'm gonna try this out.
Yeah, Forza's good. I definitely.
I prefer the Horizon games over the
Yeah, me
Motorsport
too.
games.
I want to check out the
personally.
weather changing dynamic and see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They did that a lot in Dirt 5 that I played last week. I actually played a little bit more of it while I was waiting for Call of Duty to, Call of Duty.
Call of
Um,
Doherty.
Call of Download. Uh,
Oh,
it does a lot of fun stuff where there was this race in the snow and it wasn't snowing, right? First lap, not snowing. Second lap, kind of starts snowing. Third lap, oh shit, there's snow everywhere, guys. Like fucking everywhere. And it kind of does that with every race in Dirt 5. There
That's
was
cool.
one that started in dusk, and then as the sun rose on the second lap, like you're just baked in sunlight. Now it's really cool. It's kind of silly how every single race has something like that, but it made it interesting. So
Hmm.
that's I also played that again. Whoopity doo.
Cool.
Oh, I do have to mention Smash before I forget, because
Battlefield.
Pyra came out. Pyra
Yeah.
Mithra came out the other I don't know week and a half now, and this is probably the most I've played Smash since it came out. Honestly, um, it came out, played it for a month or so, really loved it, and then since then it's been every character. Oh, I'll drop in for a couple battles. I'll do their classic mode, do a couple more battles, put it down, and then just wait for the next character. And this one, I did that, and then I just kept playing as them. Just love Pyra. Very fun character. I'm finally doing the World of Light single player that I played a couple hours of, never really got super far in. It's way too long. I don't know
It is
why.
long.
It's crazy.
I all I want to do is be able to change the menu music, and you have to beat it to change the menu music. So I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck. So I'm trying to burn through that, but I love playing as this character. It is a perfect character for my playstyle. A lot of smash attacks. Uh, I really really love Pyra, Mithra, whatever. I mostly play as Pyra, which is the heavy hitter. Um, every once in a while, if I'm playing someone that's like super fast and I need to move, I'll switch around. But she's just so powerful. If you get that hit off, they're like dead. Half these characters are dead. Just go away. Just leave me alone. And it's awesome. She's so much fun to play as.
Did
What do you-
you play Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
No, I played the other two. Well, not.
The X and the
I played
original.
X and the original. Yeah.
So yeah, I was a really big fan of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I know a lot of people it does veer off quite a little bit from the original, and Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's much
Yeah.
more like anime.
I'm fine with that. I just didn't really love X that much.
It's very different from it. I'd say it's much
Okay.
more akin to the original than
The
it is
original.
to
Okay.
X.
Okay.
X is almost like an offshoot. I like the mechs and stuff in Xenoblade
Right.
Chronicles X, but you didn't even get those till like 30 hours into the game.
Oh yeah. Halfway through the game, like you got mix now. All right.
Yeah,
Shit.
which was like the best part of the game. Yeah.
Well, that's no surprise.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is great, and if you like, uh, you know, Pyra and Mithra in terms of characters, I know like Smash is a completely different game, but
Right.
um, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I know a lot of people are like checking it out. It's on the featured list of the eShop at the moment, so a lot of people are like, "Hey, let me check out Xenoblade Chronicles 2 now." Um, if it's something that interests you, if you like the Xenoblade series, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is great.
Well, is the combat more like X or like one?
I think it's more like one, but quite a bit more advanced.
Okay.
There's a lot more techniques, and one of the things about it is like the tutorials are very complex. Like it's a very complex battle system.
That sounds like Xenoblade. So yeah. Okay.
Uh, but once you get used to it and get the hang of it, it's really fun. And they have this whole collection aspect to Xenoblade Chronicles 2 where you're collecting like different blades. And there's like certain rare special blades that have like crazy designs. It's almost like um a gotcha in that sense, like how you could like I know that's a bad word, but
No way. We love
it's
Genshin
not like
Impact. Are you kidding
you're
me?
not paying for the blades. You still have to go out and
Okay.
get them. I
Fine.
guess it's more like Pokemon in that sense,
Oh,
where you're
you're
like
saying
trying to
magic.
collect all the blades, and you'll get like a rare one every once in a while, and
Are
then
those
you
are
can use them in
Xenoblade
battle.
or Xenoblade Chronicles? Are those games pretty long?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I put like maybe 120 hours into Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
I guess, but they're on the Switch though, so that's not too bad. If it's on the Switch, I won't. It doesn't sound as bad to me though. If it was on the PC only,
Sure.
then I'd be like, oh no, my back,
My
Yeah.
back. My
my back.
back.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Games
Oh.
are
Xenoblade
that
Chronicles
long.
2 is pretty long. Especially I think the first one is maybe like 60, 70 hours or something like that.
Okay.
I can't remember how
I'm
long
thinking about
X
one of
was on the
those.
Wii U, but
X was probably about that. I know I beat it. I did not. I was reviewing it, so you can check out my review on the Game Fanatics.
yeah, I liked all of them. I think X was the weakest of the three. But
Yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 might be my favorite over the
Okay.
original. I like it a lot. I like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 a lot.
Interesting. Cool.
And that's it.
And that's it. All right. Any other games you guys want to talk about?
No, I think I'm good. I'm just on the edge of my seat waiting for Monster Hunter, honestly.
Oh, are you planning to play that on your Switch?
Yeah, definitely. I'm
No,
excited.
you're not gonna make the wait for PC.
Probably not. I can't
I
wait.
am.
I've been thinking
I want
about
to play
that
it too
too
bad.
because, like,
Don't do it.
I don't
Don't
know,
do it.
man.
Don't you
The
do it.
Such a
performance will
long
be better
wait.
on PC.
Oh, of course it will be.
But
Everything's better on PC.
I
Yeah.
can't wait. I'm like really excited. I've been, and it looks really good. Like from what I've seen in terms of the footage, it looks like the Switch is managing to
Yeah.
yeah.
Play
Seems
the
like it's doing
demo.
well.
Because it does give you an indication of visuals and performance. And I think as much as I will complain about it, and will look better and run better on PC, they did a great job getting
Really?
this on Switch. Yeah, they did a fantastic job.
I enjoyed the demo.
I played like 140 hours of Monster Hunter World, so on PS4 Pro. So I'm familiar with performance in
Right.
that. Obviously, it doesn't look as good, but it looks pretty dang solid, and it runs really well. I think it's a
Really
very
good.
solid
Yeah,
game.
in
Yeah.
that case, I'm
Dang it! I sold the fucking
definitely. He
game.
You
sold
sold
him.
the
He
wrong one,
No.
sold him
man.
on the Switch.
Yeah, I've been thinking about just going for It depends what's gonna be out because Mario Golf is also coming out pretty soon too. You know,
Yeah, when is
Forgot
that?
about
That's the
Mario
summer,
Golf.
like June. Oh,
June, the end of June.
June.
I'm
Yeah.
so
There's
that
just so many
game
games.
is gonna be incredible.
Fuck yeah.
So many games. And
I think I put like hundreds of hours in that game on 3DS Mario Golf.
yeah,
Surprisingly.
I think I reviewed that too.
Wow, man, I'm hitting on
been
all.
reviewed everything.
That was the only time I got a Nintendo code. The only time.
Probably.
No, not probably, definitely. That was it. Good game.
Good one to have. It's a good one to
Oh,
have.
I was very happy about that one. Yeah, I was very pleased.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap it up. That's going to be it for us this week on the Final Checkpoint podcast. I want to thank Mr. Trevor Paul once again for joining us. Trevor, why don't you go ahead and let the good people know where they can find you?
I'm at Slam Zany on all the things, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. I don't have a stream schedule, but if you're on Twitter, you follow me there, I will post when I go live. I also have a podcast called The Smooth Burrito, and we're usually we went weekly for a while, but we're more bi-weekly now. So every 2 weeks on that, and I write for the Game Fanatic, so you can see some articles that I'll be posting there.
Awesome. Thank you. And of course, you can find us, Twitter, at the Joelness, at Ben Runnings. You can find this podcast on your podcast services, Google, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher. Find us over at thegamefanatics.com where it has all the social media links and podcast links and the YouTube and the Instagram, the Twitter at Final Check Pod. Don't forget we post this podcast every Tuesday morning. You can find the video version, youtube.com/final or load last checkpoint. Good Lord. And of course,
I know.
watch us stream live, twitch.tv/load last checkpoint, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, daylight saving. Who gives a, well, just Google for the time zone adjustment.
It's the same time zone. That didn't change.
There's a time zone somewhere that doesn't make sense, and we call it
It's
Arizona.
mine.
It's
I'm the
yours.
one that, yeah, I'm the one who had to wake up an hour earlier.
We got to
to do
remove
this show.
Arizona from the world. It's messing everything up.
No.
All right, that's it. Thank you, everybody. We'll catch you guys next week. Good night and good for you.
For you.
It's for you.
Good for you. Bye-bye.
Okay, then.